Renters' Rights Bill has been announced recently by the Labour government, and the top 5 or 6 different points are: Section 21 will be abolished as soon as possible. Now, this means that it's going to become incredibly difficult for landlords to take possession of their properties or to evict tenants who are not paying rent. And I believe it's 13 weeks of non-payment of rent, by which time probably the landlord might be repossessed anyway, because no banks are going to be waiting and hanging around for 13 weeks before they evict the landlord. So I think the landlord will be evicted before you can evict the tenant. So it's massively unfair and very unfairly in favour of tenants. Secondly, you have to comply with Awaab's law. Awaab was a young child who died because of mould in the property, but that was a social housing provider. Get this, guys, not in the PRS sector. So that's the key difference, guys. Social housing providers should be in a different category, and private renters, because it's a completely different model. He passed away because of excessive mould and damp in the property. But the key thing is, in this new rule, you have 14 days within which to fix the mould and the condensation, which seems like a reasonable timeline by which the landlord can look into it. Number 3, decent home standard. You will have to comply with the decent home standard. The details have been provided yet. However, you can get fines up to £7,000 for non-compliance. So we obviously look forward to getting some more detail on this side of things. Number 4, Property Ombudsman. Because the courts are obviously not geared up to resolve a lot of these eviction issues, the Ombudsman will be the first point of call when there are differences between the landlord and the tenant, and it's going to be like a tribunal where the landlord and the tenant will be heard. Obviously, the tribunal will be in favour and unfairly towards the tenant rights. Number 5, property portal, which could possibly be a good thing, because that's where you'll have all the information you need to know about compliance and what is it that you need in order to comply with the law in terms of gas safeties, PAT testing, testing all electric equipments, all the things that you need in terms of compliance when you are a landlord. Insurance, EPC, all of those certificates. So that could be a good thing and quite educational for the landlord. So it's not a bad thing. But all in all, guys, the key thing here is it's more about renters' rights, except the other one, well, Conservatives had named it as Renters' Reform Bill. So I guess a key difference is it's unfairly geared up against the landlord. And why? Why do you ask? Is being a landlord being a charity? Well, why aren't landlords allowed to make profit just like any other business can? And because we all have worked hard, taken risks, and actually ended up saving money and buying these properties over a period of time by recycling our funds, reinvesting investors' money, and we've been innovative, just like any businessman or woman would need to be in order to be entrepreneurial and reinvent ourselves. So why are we, the landlords, being punished? Because of certain cases in the public domain which show landlords to be greedy landlords or slum landlords. It really isn't the case. There might be a small percentage that still tries to override the law, override compliance, but the majority of us are good, educated landlords, and we try and fix things within a reasonable time period. So why are we in the UK being punished? This is going to cause a mass exodus of landlords, and I know that a lot of my colleagues are already looking at possible exits, possibly looking to give in their HMO portfolios to social landlords, giving completely hands-free, which means there'll be a shorter or smaller pool of supply of rental properties, which actually is going to work against the tenants. It's going to increase the rentals. It's just a case of supply and demand, guys. You're not going to be able to get away from the business and the simple economics of supply and demand. So it'd be good to know your thoughts. Why are landlords being targeted in such a massive number just to get some brownie points for Labour? Yeah, what are your thoughts? Please share, comment and give us some feedback.